Welcome to Google Ads Unleashed, the podcast that helps you harness the power of Google Ads. And now your host, Jeremy Young.
Hello guys, and welcome back to Google Ads Unleashed. I hope everyone is doing fabulously this Monday. Whilst you're listening to this, I will be actually on my first massive holiday in 5 years. I will be on a little road trip in the USA. So if you are reaching out to me, please know that I might be a little bit slower in replying than usual, but yeah, this is just a small PSA. But of course, that's why I've recorded this in advance, and I wanted to give you a couple of tips on how we use AI in the agency and how you can deploy it for yourselves as well. So because obviously AI is in everyone's sort of, everyone's talking about it, and rightfully so. Many consider it to be the next industrial revolution, right? We've had the industrial revolution, then we had the information revolution, and now we have the AI revolution. And I'm a firm believer that it's not going to replace us, specialists. It's not going to take any jobs away, but it's going to push people out of business who don't know how to do the basics properly and who don't know how to deploy it, or who don't want to deploy it, right? Because if you're terrible at your job, and if you are refusing to use it and think you can run your business, your e-com business, without using it, then you will be outgunned by people who know how to. Okay, so highly recommend that you get on the train and learn as much about it as possible, because you're going to be on the winning side then. And I just want to preface this with the fact that these will be a couple of tips and maybe a few inspirations of how we use AI. I'd love to hear what kind of ideas you have. And I want to, of course, also just say that we're not talking about sort of the AI recommendations within the Google Ads platform, for instance, the performance summary from AI, or the Google Analytics 4 prompts that you can use to find out information. I'm also not talking about Google Ads recommendations or any sort of asset creation recommendations in terms of headlines, descriptions, etc. I'm talking what can you use outside of the platform in order to gain a competitive advantage. And with us, it starts on site. So one of the things that is, of course, absolutely instrumental towards our performance on Google Ads, especially in e-commerce, is the product landing page. So if your landing page is crap, it doesn't matter how good you are in ads, it doesn't matter how whatever, you are going to fail hugely, okay? So in the old days, it's only very recent actually, but that's what I mean with speeding up the process. In the old days, maybe let's say a year ago, when we onboarded a client, when we looked at where potential issues could lie in the conversion rate, we always deployed first a member of staff who would sit down for a day or two and look into the auction insights. What kind of competitors are there? What sort of level of competition are they? Are they A-level competitors? Are they, for instance, direct competitors? Or are they B-level, so they do other stuff, but they happen to have our product as well? Or are they C-level competitors, for instance, Amazon and Temu, right? They're basically just big other platforms advertising as well. And we then went onto their product pages and their offers and had a look at what do they sort of do better. And it was all very qualitative, right? Sort of, looking at, do they have more trust signals? Do they have this? Do they have that? Etc., etc. Nowadays, we automate this process completely, or we speed this up in a matter of 30 minutes an hour using AI. And we do it as follows. So usually we have done our customer research, something I'll get into as a next point, where we actively use AI in every process. But what we do is simply we head into the auction insights, let's say the last 90 days. We have a look at who are the top competitors in the auction. And then what we do based on our customer research, hammer through our competitors into, and usually their best sellers, into AI. Use something like ChatGPT, and also maybe the product page of one of our best sellers, and then say, look at what what the competition is doing. Look at what we have. What do we do better than them? What do they do worse than us? What do they do better than us? What do we do worse than them, etc. And we give ChatGPT deep research, about 15 to 20 minutes, and it spits out an incredible amount of information, something that would have taken me 2 days to compile, and it does that within half an hour. And very quickly you can see sort of things that you could incorporate, right? Little example. We had, at the beginning of the year, this is something that where I talked about on the podcast a couple of weeks ago as well. We had a client who really struggled with their offer, and we found that there was a competitor who was simply having a better offer. As a result, of course, the ads performed worse because we had the worst offer and the worst product. So what did we do? We deployed exactly that. We found, for instance, simple things such as they gave a longer guarantee, right? We had a 30-day guarantee, they had a 90-day guarantee, so we increased that. Then we found that they had videos on site, like customer testimonial videos and social proof. Boom, we added social proof, which we didn't have, etc., etc. So all of these insights were generated really, really quickly and increased our conversion rate. So these are translated into actionable insights. And that gives you more value, not only as a Google Ads media buyer, but also gives you more value as a business, because you can simply outgun your competitors by going the extra mile and doing that little bit of additional research in order to just improve that area, right? Another example, we recently did an audit on a very big brand and realized that they actually have no direct competitors in the market. So they were just Amazon and Etsy, for instance, who sold similar products from like smallerish independent sellers. So now we're changing the whole brand to the only independent brand that does this kind of product in the entire United States. Huge implications, guys, right? If someone's searching for something and now they in their head they go, oh, I want a quality product, and yes, it is very expensive. I want a quality product. I am willing to pay $1,000 or something like that. I will pay and get this from the only independent seller in the US. Boom, massive advantage. So there you can see how we use AI very efficiently to give CRO recommendations that make you stand out from your competitor in the SERP. Lots of insights regarding navigability and other things as well, so give that a try with deep research. Then what we do, for instance, I've sort of taken that away already, but basically we use it for audience research as well. So what used to take us again another day before we start any project, before we start working with anyone, we now can do within an hour. We got very specific prompts where we, for instance, analyze your reviews, where we analyze reviews of similar products on Amazon, where we analyze reviews of your competition and see what do they love about this product, what type of people are they, what kind of language do they speak, etc., etc. And we find that out within a matter of an hour and can hammer that through with very specific prompts in ChatGPT, giving us a very a perfect ideal persona through which we can build several avatars. For instance, we can speak about their pain points. What are their main pain points? We can speak about what kind of gender or age range most people are. We can talk about, we can find out what our product promise must be in order to sort of hit a nerve with them. We can find out what objections they have when buying, so that we can add product accordion, etc., etc. What their fears are, what other stuff they have, what false assumptions they have about our products, etc., etc. And it's super powerful. So it gives you a massive insight into your customer, who you're dealing with, and it then gives you, of course, inspiration not only for your PDP but for your ads. And that's where we use it next. We design all of our search ads, all of our site links, all of our assets, etc., even PMAX, using AI. right? And I'm very openly admitting to this because we are not obviously copy and pasting just things from AI. We use ChatGPT as a sparring partner to give us ideas on how to structure our ads and how to write them. Let's say, for instance, we have 15 headlines, right? Usually we don't even fill out all 15 because it's nuts. We don't need that many, by the way. Just I don't want to go into why that is, but like for instance, 9 are enough, right? Or 12. So we usually structure our ads relatively simply: 3 USPs, 3 call to actions, and 3 things about our audience, like sort of direct questions, etc. Well, use ChatGPT. You can do all the audience research and all the customer research in one prompt, more or less, which I've just put together, or in one document, and then say, listen, ChatGPT, I've got this audience now here. You found all these things out about them. I want to advertise this product. Let's say you want to advertise a standing desk or something like that. I have made all these changes you've identified on our site. Can you suggest 5 headlines that really speak to our audience and the sort of core pain points you found? Can you suggest 5 headlines with very specific, maybe play on words, call to actions, which are cool? And can you suggest 5 headlines that, are I don't know, which are the core USP of our product compared to, for instance, competitors? And you'll be surprised how interesting some of the recommendations are. What I would always say is use that as inspiration, but then, of course, apply your own creativity. That's where the real magic lies, right? Because I don't know who said it, that there's a very very famous marketer who said something amongst the lines of that AI will make mediocrity even more mediocre and brilliance even more brilliant, or something like that. And that's the whole idea. The more specific you are added into, the better ideas we actually get for new ads, right? Or new angles. And that is how we then write our ads. Example, yesterday I've done exactly that for a new client, B2B, a bit unusual for us. But basically I've done a competition research, which we do quarterly anyway. Found some new competitors. They've got a few new angles which are really cool. So I've suggested we need to change a couple of things on the ads and also highlight why we are better than them. For instance, another one which happened a couple of weeks ago, we found that a lot of people are switching away from a certain supplier to our client because they have better service and more timely service, right? So this is a massive pain point of our audience right now. We found this out by analyzing the reviews of our competitors using AI, right? And it spat out that valuable information, and of course the sales team told us about that as well. So what do? We rewrote the ads saying exactly that, no waiting list, direct support, 24/7 support, better support than our competitors. Boom, our click-through rates increase because we're speaking to the pain points, and we would have never found that out that quickly without using AI. And that's what I mean, how to use AI efficiently for inspiration. It doesn't replace us, but it makes us much more efficient at our job, right? So try and use that for you as well. Message me if you want any of those prompts. Then the next thing that we use it for is for PMAX asset creation. So Google's own is shit. We use ChatGPT now for that as well, and some other apps through which we can actually create assets when our clients cannot provide us with assets. We use that very sparsely because our clients mostly can send us assets, and we sometimes create our own anyway. But that is something that we use that for now as well. Further things that we use AI for when we optimize our ads is for feed work, right? So very often we have large product feeds that have maybe 10,000 different product titles. We've got a very specific prompt where we can actually very easily change or make them AI-based or recommendations for those. So we plug that in with a keyword planner and just say, listen, hey, that we got the search volume for this product. These are the top keywords. This is the pain points of our audience. Write a good title for this product and of these products, and it'll spit out recommendations. Now, of course, we still have to go through all 10,000 ones manually, right, and adjust the product titles and make them better. But this is a classic example of how we very quickly can speed up work by 80%, right? Because we used to have to write all of those bit by bit and manually, but now this works a lot better. The same goes for product descriptions. We do that as well when we build new feeds, and it's something that where AI has really helped us. We also use an Emergent Center for background creations, right? So that is actually one of the few Google tools which is pretty cool, Google Studio, and that is where we use that too. Then lastly, we use AI for audits, and we use it for reporting, okay? So it very quickly and easily summarizes points very efficiently for us when we do any sort of reporting, and it also very quickly puts together a very good broad overview of in which state ad accounts are in. Of course, our audits got done a full podcast on how we do audits, right, and what we look at when we look at audits, but this is sort of the core things that we use it for. How do you use AI? Let me know. Are you interested in any of the prompts that I mentioned? Please message me. And if any of this has been super interesting, please send me an email at jeremy@younganddigital.marketing. Please send me a message on LinkedIn, for instance, Jeremy and Google Ads. I'd love to hear from you what other ways you could use AI to enhance your Google Ads performance. I'm very, very interested in that. I think in conclusion, I would say use it sparsely. It's not going to replace you, right? I think it's just, you've got to be very, very weary of, when is it shit and it's just a rebel without a cause, and when will it actually really speed up any of your work and progress. And with that, I wish you a fabulous week ahead. Use AI, challenge for the week. Every task that you do, everything you do for your business, if it's writing new product descriptions, if it's delegating if it's replying emails, think, can I do this quicker with AI? And if you can, then thank me for that. Wishing you a productive and happy week ahead.
Thank you for listening to Google Ads Unleashed. To connect with Jeremy, check him out online at www.younganddigital.marketing. We'll see you next time.